City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down.
Aloha and welcome to Oahu, also known as a gathering place. As many of you probably know, Oahu is a very beautiful place to visit, and it's also a wonderful place to live and own real estate. And making this video because a pretty common inquiry I get from people is looking for investment real estate here on the island, either as a full-time rental property or else for a property that they can come and enjoy for themselves several times a year. And just to be clear, is that recently a bill was signed by the mayor of Honolulu called Bill 41 that really changes the rental market here. If you want to learn more about that, just click on the link up here, and that gives you a good overview of Bill 41. There's still some uncertainty, so as more clarity comes along, I will definitely be posting new updates on my channel. Also, I work for Hawai'i Life. We have a property management division that does vacation real estate management. I'm also on very good terms with the owner who owns probably the largest vacation rental management company on Oahu. So if you're looking for a referral for a company that does property management, I'm happy to refer you to either of those companies. Just to be clear, both those companies do offer me compensation for referring clients to them. I've never taken any financial compensation for a referral. I prefer just to make sure that my clients receive the best service. So this video today, I'm giving you an overview of some of the best properties in my experience, as well as feedback from property managers that are the best units to own in these buildings based on guest feedback, property manager feedback, as well as owner feedback. And any questions at any time, contact me anytime, and I'll give you more details on any of these properties. Let's get started. First off, we have the Ilikai. Now, the Ilikai is perhaps the most iconic vacation rental property in Waikiki and maybe all of Oahu. It's located on the other side of Waikiki. It was built in 1965. It's 30 stories in height and has a total of 1,025 units. Majority of those units are one bed, one bath, but there's also some one bed, two bath, some two bedroom units, as well as some studios. And at the time of this recording, generally units were selling for starting around 500,000 all the way up to about 2 million. Important thing to know is that parking does not come deeded with the unit, but you can rent parking. All units are going to come either with ocean view, city view, mountain view, or a combination of those views. Important to note also is that if you have two identical units and one has a city view and the other one has an ocean view, obviously the ocean view unit is going to demand a higher nightly rental rate. But these days, travelers seem to really want well-maintained units. So if you have a unit that's well-maintained by the city view versus an ocean view unit that's poorly maintained, odds are that city view unit is going to be getting a higher nightly rental rate than that poorly maintained ocean view unit. So just keep that in mind. Again, it's a very well-maintained, well-managed building. Your monthly association fees are going to cover cable TV, hot water, internet service, sewer, and water. There's a large check-in desk, there's a restaurant on site, as well as a handful of boutique shops and stores. Nice pool, there's a recreational area, large deck for kind of socializing, hanging out, and relaxing. And it's a very short distance to a great beach, as well as some surf spots, as well and some great restaurants in the immediate vicinity. So if you're looking for a quality vacation rental unit in a really desirable building, I highly recommend you take a look at the Ilikai. Next, we have the Ilikai Marina, which is also located on the other side of Waikiki and in a very close proximity to the Ilikai. This building was built in 1968. It's 18 stories tall and has 261 units. It's a mixture of studios and one bedrooms, and currently price points are starting around 400,000, go up to about 800,000. There is no parking that comes deeded with the unit, but parking is available for rent. And this building, very well maintained and somewhat desirable compared to some other buildings, that the square footage of these units are somewhat larger than lot of the other buildings we're looking at today. So just keep that in mind. Not a whole lot of common area features. It's a pretty bare bone building, but it's got great location to wonderful beach, the marina. There is a restaurant located on the on the ground floor, and again, an ideal location to pretty common tourist attractions around the Waikiki area. As far as the monthly association fee, it's pretty reasonable, and it covers cable TV, electricity, hot water, sewer, water, and the building does have central AC, so the fact that electricity is included in the monthly dues is pretty favorable. So again, very quality building, and if you're looking for a vacation rental in Waikiki, I definitely recommend you take a look at the Ilikai Marina. Here we have Luana Waikiki, which is also located on the other side of Waikiki. This building is set back quite a distance from the ocean, so unlike some of the other buildings discussed today, it does not have the quality ocean views. Some units do have partial ocean views, but mostly you're going to have really good city, garden, or mountain views. This building was built in 1971. It's 17 stories tall and consists of 225 units. Mostly studios, but there are some one bedrooms as well as a handful of two bedrooms. Currently, units are selling for start around $300,000 and go up to about $800,000. There is no parking in this deeded to each unit, but you can rent parking with the building. The building itself is very well maintained. It has some nice common area amenities. There is a restaurant on the grounds, a heated pool, exercise room, barbecue area, as well as community laundry. As far as the monthly association dues, they cover cable TV, hot water, internet services, as well as electricity. And a lot of these units do have split AC, so the fact that electricity is included in the monthly dues does help out. And so there's a good overview of Luana Waikiki. Now this is a pretty bare bone building, but due to the views and location, it's actually one of my most favorite buildings on this list. It was built in 1960. It's 15 stories in height and has 169 units. And most of those units are 1 and 2 beds, but there are some studios as well as a 1 3-bedroom unit. And great thing is that there are some units in this building that do have deeded parking, which does add considerable value to your unit because park in this area can be very difficult to find. But again, very bare bones, not a whole lot of common area amenities. So for that reason, your monthly association fees are pretty low. And what's included in those fees is cable TV, gas, hot water, and internet service. But really the selling point again in this unit is that, or in this building, is that units are quite spacious for studios or 1 bedrooms, but you have the views, and again, just an ideal location. You just go out the back and you're right on the beach, and you're also in very close vicinity to some wonderful restaurants and some shops. So if you're looking for a unit in that price point, I highly recommend you check out Waikiki Shore. Next we have the Pacific Monarch, located kind of in central Waikiki. This building was built in 1980. It's 34 stories in height and has 218 units. And it's a mixture of studios and 1 bedrooms. And for the most part, units in this building sell at a lower price than the other buildings I'm talking about, because in this building, the square footage is less than some of the other buildings. Also, the thing to know is that although some of these units in this building can be very well maintained, the building itself could use a refresh. When you walk in, it just kind of has a dated look and feel to it, so just keep that in mind. But the units are going to have either ocean, city, or mountain view, or a mixture of that. Important to know though that on the Makai side of Pacific Monarch, which is the ocean side, eventually there's going to be a high-rise hotel built. They did break ground already, but they paused construction due to COVID. They've not resumed construction yet, but eventually a high-rise is going to be built. And when that happens, some of the units are going to either lose most or all of their ocean view, so just keep that in mind. But it does have a wonderful rooftop deck, has a pool and jacuzzi up there, and the views from up there are just outstanding. Also has a really nice kind of a common meeting space up there. Parking does not come deeded with the units, but you can rent parking on site. And lastly, your association fee is going to cover cable TV, electricity, hot water, sewer, and water. And again, it's a great location. a short walk to the beach, and there's some great shops, restaurants in a very short distance from the Pacific Monarch. Here we have the Island Colony. Now this building is somewhat unique is that it does not fall within the Resort Hotel District zone. Rather, it's in a special designated area that allows it to legally operate as a nightly rental building. So if you own a unit in this building and you want to do nightly rentals, you need to sign a licensing agreement with the hotel operator. And by doing so, you agree to pay the hotel a 5% fee on your gross revenue. And the other unique thing is that, unlike some of these other properties I'm discussing today, where a guest can go straight to the room and get access by entering a code into a keypad, at Island Colony, guests first must check in with the hotel front desk. And by doing this, you also have to pay the hotel front desk fee on a monthly basis. This fee can vary depending on monthly visitor count. If you want more information on this topic, contact me. I can put you in contact with a property manager, or you can speak directly with the hotel to learn more about the fees and the services. But it's a very popular vacation rental building. It was built in 1979. It's 42 stories in height and has 745 units. Majority of those units are studios, but there are quite a few one-bedroom units as well. Current price points start around $250,000, go up to about $500,000 these days. There's no parking deed with the unit, but parking is available for rent. And this building is just across the street from the Alawai, so it's set back a bit from the ocean, but it is a pretty desirable location. But overall, again, it's really in high demand by tourists here coming to Waikiki. For the building itself, it has some nice common area amenities. It's got a large pool deck with sauna, has an exercise room as well as a barbecue area. There's also a small convenience store on site, and on the ground floor, there's a little deli located next to the front desk. And lastly, for monthly dues, they're quite reasonable, and they cover cable TV, hot water, sewer, and common area. If you are looking for a more intimate building in the heart of Waikiki, you might like Niihau. This building was built in 1960. It's only 11 stories in height and it has a total of 44 units. Mostly 1 and 2 bedrooms, but there is a 3-bedroom unit in the building that is currently on the market. Units don't come on the market for sale very frequently in this building. But the last 1-bedroom to sell sold for just a little above $500,000, and the 3-bedroom is currently on the market at $2.25 million. Most of the units do not come with parking, but this 3-bedroom does have deeded parking, 2 spots, and that is quite a bit of value there because parking in this area can be very challenging. Due to the size, the homeowners association is a little higher than other properties, and it only covers the sewer, water, and common area expenses. But even though you are kind of set back from the ocean, you do get some ocean view from some of the units, as well as city and mountain. But it's, again, great location and very convenient to the beach, as well as some shops and restaurants. These last 2 buildings I'm going to talk about are both very popular nightly rental buildings in Waikiki. One is the Waikiki Banyan, the other is the Waikiki Sunset, and they're both located on the Diamond Head side of Waikiki. And for many, many years, both these buildings legally were operated as nightly rental buildings. However, in 2019, when the government passed some new vacation rental laws, both these properties fell outside the new hotel resort district. So in 2019, they lost their right to operate as legal nightly rental buildings. However, both associations sued. For whatever reason, Waikiki Banyan was granted a stay, and so they were allowed to continue operating as a legal nightly rental building, whereas the Waikiki Sunset was not granted a stay. So since that time, you can only legally operate a nightly rental unit in that building if you held which is called a non-conforming use permit, or a NUC, or NUC. However, with this new Bill 41, which was just signed by the Mayor of Honolulu, both these properties now are going to be allowed legally to operate nightly rentals. And again, Bill 41 goes into effect October 23rd, 2022. Now, a very important thing to know is that currently the Waikiki Sunset and Waikiki Banyan are both zoned residential. And here in Honolulu, a property that's zoned residential has a much lower property tax rate than a property that's zoned in the hotel resort district. For residential, the tax rate is $3.50 for every $1,000 of assessed value, whereas a property in the resort district, you'll be paying $13.90 per $1,000 of assessed value. So on an annual basis, if you own a property at Waikiki Sunset or Banyan, you'll be saving significantly on your property taxes. However, I do not think this is going to last long term. You know, how it stands right now, the government's losing a lot of tax revenue. So I think it's just inevitable that sooner than later, the county is going to change the tax codes for the Waikiki Sunset and Waikiki Banyan. On that note, though, I have read that the Waikiki Banyan Association is going to fight that tax code change, but I just don't see how they're going to win that case because, again, if they're now legally allowed to do nightly rentals, it's only fair, I would think, that they'll rezone hotel resort zoning and pay the same tax rate of all these other buildings who are allowed to do nightly rentals. Now for the Waikiki Banyan, as I stated, a very popular vacation rental building in Waikiki. It actually consists of two towers. You have the Mauka Tower, which means Mauka means mountain, and the Makai Tower, which means ocean or water. They were built in 1977. They're each 37 stories tall and consist of 876 units total. It's all one bed, one bath at the Waikiki Banyan, but square footage can differ slightly between the units, ranging from about a 40 to 80 square foot difference. So if you are interested in buying a unit here, just know that some units are a little smaller than others. Units are currently selling for starting around $500,000 up to about $700,000, but I have seen some pristine units sell above $700,000. It's excellent location. It's very close to the zoo, aquarium, Kapi'olani Park, Waikiki Shore, where they do concerts, as well as close proximity to the beach, and again, some great restaurants and just some other attractions. As far as the building itself, there's a large deck between the two towers that has a pool, jacuzzi, tennis court. There's also some commercial space that were vacated during COVID, and I just think sooner than later that some commercial tenants will be be back in those commercial spaces. But all in all, it's a really great building. For the monthly association fee, it covers cable TV, hot water, sewer, water, and electricity. And a lot of units in this building do have a window AC, so the fact that electricity is included in a really reasonable monthly association due is really favorable. Last, we have the Waikiki Sunset, which is located just across the street from the Waikiki Banyan. This building was built in 1979, is 37 stories tall, and has 435 units. Mostly one bedroom, but there are some two bedrooms in the building. And price points currently start around $400,000 and go up to about $700,000. And parking does come deeded with each unit, which is a desirable thing, similar to the Waikiki Banyan. And the building itself is well maintained for common area amenities. There is a pretty large pool deck, has a barbecue area, there's community laundry, exercise room, rec room, as well as a sauna. For your monthly dues, it covers electricity, hot water, sewer, water, and your common area expenses. And this building does have central AC, so the fact that AC is included in your, or electricity is covered in your monthly dues is quite favorable. And like the Banyan, these units can have some pretty incredible views of city, mountain, Diamond Head, or the ocean. Well, there you have a pretty good overview of some of the best vacation rental buildings here in Waikiki. If you have any questions at all, you're welcome to contact me at any time. And one thing I want to disclose is that if you're familiar with my background, you know that I've been a long-term real estate investor, but I want to reassure you that I will never be your competition here in Hawaii. I am not looking for any investment property here on Oahu or anywhere in the Hawaiian Islands. So when a good opportunity comes to the market, you will be alerted first, and I will never be your competition. Also, if you have any questions about what a unit might make on a nightly basis or monthly revenue, contact me. I have some excellent relationship with some property managers who know these buildings very well and can give you pretty accurate dollar amounts on what a building could gross monthly and annually. And lastly, I want to mention, and it would have been better if I mentioned this earlier, is that investment property here in Hawaii is not like investing in many areas on the mainland. properties don't cash flow here as well as parts of the mainland. Here on Oahu, for vacation rental properties, your cap rates are going to start around 4.5%, maybe go up to 6%, maybe a little higher. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for investment properties here. But one thing that really works well in Hawaii is that we usually have very strong property appreciation. So take that into consideration when you're analyzing opportunities here. That said, again, contact me anytime if you have questions. If you like this video, it'd be great if you like it, or even better if you subscribe or do both. But thank you for watching. I wish you well, and take care of yourself. Aloha.